Good morning, everyone. How's my sound? Let's get the microphone up in a good spot. Hopefully there's not too much noises. Okay. So, managed to get out of bed. I know it's not morning for everyone. Most of you, it's the evening. So, no Kahoot today because I'll be juggling too many screens, and what I'm hoping is that because everyone's going to be watching the World Cup. If anyone is watching, they can watch the World Cup along as well if they're not racing or not riding on Zwift. So what we'll do, I'll get my legs going. Got myself some coffee, but as usual I've got lots of sugar in here. Just giving that a stir to make sure it doesn't get set. Okay, so I've got my fan. Actually, get my fan. Oops. I've got to get it set up. Okay. It's too cold for the fan. It is a very brisk morning here in Melbourne, Australia. It's very foggy outside. So almost like walking through a cloud, just getting to the shed. Okay, so what are we doing? Nothing crazy on Zwift. This is just my usual long, slow distance ride of the week. Instead of asking Kahoot questions, I'll just grab questions off my phone and people can, if people in the chat, if no one's in the chat, then that's fine. But saves having to go into Kahoot. It's not going to be as fun as Kahoot, but it's for football. What is it, 25 minutes to kick off or so? Let's get Lucy in the Sky going. I was almost tempted to do 2.5 hours. Now, what I do want to do, let's do my route chaser. I'll get a bonus 750 XP. Let's do, it's only a 30-minute ride. But, well, it's probably less than 30 minutes actually. Let's start this off and then get the workout going. I think I need to run the workout at about 75% because I have a difference in my FTP on Zwift compared to what Exert says. And I think even when I do this workout, at least it showed last night or yesterday when I was doing it, is that Exert somehow manages to pull in a different number workout. So Exert, this is Sky. One thing I hate about Zwift, well, there's many things that annoy me about Zwift, but see how I can't work out if the name's really, really long in the workout. I can't work out what it is. Now I can see there's 2 hours. That's the one I'm after, but there's some other workouts. I've got custom workouts. Yeah, see these ones. So I can just see 90, 120. But if you've got a really long name, it's actually hard to see. Exert anyway. I think I deleted a lot of the Exert ones just to make sure that I haven't got, because I got 60, 45, 60, 90, 120, 300, 300? Yeah, 200, 200. All right. So even though FTP set at 288, these intervals are a bit high. Anyway, let's start that. Well, I've got to get my shoes up. Hopefully that doesn't lock down the train. That's alright. Soft start, thankfully. Elite released firmware updates for most of their trainers. Not all of them, but so like 90% of them. Was a while ago, but the fact that they released updates for the Elite Dorito, and I got the version 2 It's fantastic because it added features they haven't really advertised at all. Features like a soft start. So previously, if you're doing a workout with an Elite Dorito and you stop pedaling, it'd be really hard to get going again. And they added soft start, so if you stop pedaling, it'll release the erg and then get you back in. And pretty much in many ways made the Elite Dorito version 2 so much better, or the original Dorito as well. Fixed a lot of issues. One of the issues was super tuck. It always took a long time to get a Elite Dorito to do a super tuck. It's not instant like it is for Wahoos, but it's much quicker now. Not such a disadvantage on short sections of race course where you can get a quick super tuck in. Alright, got to drop this percentage down. I'm going to write 95% today. 217 and 253 is much more reasonable. Right under that. Right. Okay, so 20 minutes till the kickoff. There's 2 games on. Chuck that on top of my wheel over there. So there's 2 games on today, which is going to make it interesting. We've got England versus Panama, Paraguay. Hopefully, what happens if I don't? I'm going to try and run these 2 windows, separate boxes. Okay. Oh, I can't see the play button. Oh, there it is. Okay, so Panama versus England and Croatia versus Ghana. The Croatia versus Ghana is probably going to be the most entertaining game, but get both of them going at the same time. Hopefully I managed to turn the sound off. Okay, I think everything's good. I think my sound, yeah, my microphone's good. I think YouTube always makes, well, OBS always sends a really weak signal to YouTube. So you got to really run it hot. Otherwise, when you go to watch, well, if you ever notice, if you watch live streams on Zwift, if you're watching something, you'll come back to the live stream. It's really quiet. Because most of the time everyone runs at suggested setting and you're about 10 decibels too low. Trying to get the fan on. I completely forgot about the feature that I got of my free fan. Not an affiliate link fan. I'm a sponsorships fan that I found on the street many years ago. It's a tower fan. So the great thing is that it's the same as basically the Wahoo. It's got a motor that sucks the air in, spits it out of the top. Probably not as powerful as a Wahoo, the Wahoo fans. The good thing is it's got a remote. It's got 3 settings. Not connected to heart rate, but one of the really handy features, which I completely forgot about and never used till yesterday, is the fact that you can make it so it swivels. I don't have it swiveling the whole time. What I do is, the problem is when it's really cold like it is today, I need a bit of circulation. I don't need the fan directly on me. So I can use a swivel function to move it from the bike, so it's just missing me. Having the air running here at the moment, because the microphone's over there, but having the air running through here so that there's a little bit of circulation around me still. I can then direct it straight towards me or just across my face as required. Almost in summertime it's just full bore straight at me. But in winter time, as you all know, it's a bit tough. Early in the morning, it's freezing cold. To get that cooling right. Sort of go between on and off the fan, whereas this, I keep the fan going with the circulation. Don't get that powerful and painful situation where you're sweating a lot. You turn the fan on, you're freezing a lot. You turn it off, you're sweating a lot. Okay, I want to kick off less than 15 minutes. You can see down here I've got empty space. This will be for when people start chatting, if they ever start chatting. It's one of those streams where I'm not sure if anyone actually watch, because, well, obviously if you're watching now, you're watching, but you might not necessarily get many people watching live. As I said, there's 2 World Cup games on. It's going to help me pass the time, at least I can watch the football. I'm not going to stream until the end of the football. Just get my 2 hours or 2.5 hours maybe, depending how I feel. I'm trying to move that fan a bit further back. Keep forgetting to give ride-ons to people. What's the etiquette with ride-ons? I give a lot of ride-ons out. A lot of people don't. I never, very rarely receive a ride-on from the ones I give out, which I understand. I've done the same thing, especially when I'm streaming, because I'm not near my keyboard. The only way I can give a ride-on at the moment is by using my button. So if someone gives me a ride on outside that zone, it's actually difficult for me to give it to them. But in other times, of course, doing these sort of rides, haven't been paying attention, don't even see I get a ride on. So I have definitely missed a lot of ride-ons in the past. But what's the etiquette? If you're the faster rider overtaking, is it your responsibility to initiate the first ride-on? Because you get to see the rider up ahead for a long time. Whereas if you're going quite slow, oh Chris, yeah, it's all that matters. At least now I can see the chat's working. It's slightly filled up a little bit of that box. So I'll give a ride-on to this person. Whereas to this person, they don't necessarily me zoom past. They're doing a workout, so You can't click on the names on the side in a workout. So unless they're using a companion app. Well, see, that rider goes past you so fast. Problem is I won't be able to give a ride onto this person now, will I? Let's see, got 5 seconds to hold it. There we go. Recharged it. No one returned them. Can you take a ride on back? Should be like if you don't give a ride on back, within 1 minute you lose it. And the person that gave you a ride on gets a ride on back. I know it kind of ruined things a bit. If Zwift made it automatic that if you get a ride on, you could automatically have that ride on given back. Oh, off he goes. That was the rider already overtaken. So they could possibly do that. Because sometimes you're doing a workout and you're in zone 5. Breathing out their backside. It's hard to give a ride on back. Oh, I got a ride on back from G Money. I think it's Money, not Mooney. You watching the football, Chris? You can actually see what time it is locally. For me here, 6:48. Pretty late for a lot of Zwifters, isn't it? A lot of people are done by 6:30 in the morning. It's dark outside, so I feel like I'm up really early. It is the longest nights of the year, this time of year for Australia, especially here in southern Australia, called Victoria, not South Australia, in Melbourne here. That's my heart rate. That's 140. As long as I can still talk, that's the important thing with this workout. Yeah, so Australia, Melbourne, because it's very different to the north. But the sun's not going to rise until 7:30. And sets around, 5:10 or so. Longest day of the year for you guys up north. Shortest day of the year for us the other day. I got 8 minutes to a kickoff. I don't really have a dog in the game for these two matches. I mean, I'll go for England, but if England lose, not that I'll be streaming if they lose still, I should be gone by then. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Okay. But I know that many people think England are through regardless, aren't they? So if they lose tonight, it's just annoying in terms of you have to face a stronger opponent. If you're going to win the World Cup, you've got to beat the strongest opponents. That guy's not real happy about getting his selfie taken. It's watching the Ghana game. Obviously, spoilers. I don't know. It's a live stream. It says World Cup on it. Right, what was I done? Almost. I think it's 5 minutes from live. How do I fast forward it? There you go. Damn it, I got the ads on one of them. Can't fast forward it to live. Doing the national anthem. I see him in both games because I can't quite. Got to wait until the ad finishes before I can get to England live. There you go. Yeah. Done the anthems. A couple of steps. When I do this, as many indoor cyclists know, I can feel the front wheels very flat. Need to pump that up. Okay, what was I getting to? Questions. So, now one of the ones I haven't actually looked up. Well, I'll ask this question and another question, then we'll start watching the match. But who is the only player to have won the Men's World Cup 3 times? Do you want me to give the 4 answers and then you choose, or you just write down the name? We'll do it that way, I reckon. So who's the only player to won the Men's World Cup 3 times? We'll see if someone types the answer in chat. If you get it right, I'll let you know. Surely someone will get it right. More fan. Someone with the name Smarter Knowledge on Zwift gave me a ride on. Do they know who was the only player to have won the Men's World Cup 3 times? So if you don't know, I'm doing a workout, 7.2 kilometers to finish, but then I'm going to wander around Watopia, try and stay on the flat bits. I ain't going up the Alp. It's only a 2-hour ride. Go and see if I can find the Yeti. Oh, not the Yeti, the Bigfoot on the coast. We'll give this rider a run. Oh, double up. It's always good when you go to give a ride on to someone and you manage to capture someone else who's absolutely beasting it. Oh, I missed him for sure. I should be wearing the socks or I give him 2 XP extra. Always forget what socks they are. I think it's a fire socks. I'm not sure. Or is it the lightning socks? I really should put those on. Oh, I forgot to have a standing effort. Okay, a little one now. I'll give him a ride on already. Yeah. See if I can give this rider a head. Oh, it's raining in the England match. Oh, it was raining. Spots on the camera. It's definitely raining. I can remember England's not in white. England's in red. Oh, I forgot to give the rider a run. Oh. They'll survive. Looks dry in the Croatia match. I haven't been watching any European football for a few years. One of the striking things about watching the US World Cup, well, the America's World Cup, because I'm not just in USA, is it? They use a lot of, I think, full frame cameras. There's a lot more depth of field, or shallow depth of field, and a lot of their shots. Traditionally in sports, you tend to have a very wide depth of field to make sure you capture everything, all the action. But they have moved. I know in the USA there's been a big change in using shallow depth of field. It's very weird to watch sometimes, actually, because you're not used to seeing such shallow depth of field in sports games like that. The image you watch from the side, which they're showing now, obviously everything's in focus. But then when they cut to players and things close up with the handheld shots, all of a sudden you get massive depth of field, or massive shallow depth of field. The players just behind each other are out of focus. Not sure if I like that trend. It does look cool in isolation, but when you're watching depth of field that's really, really wide, and all of a sudden you've got shallow depth of field, it's jarring. Alright, think about the soccer now. I don't really want to commentate because everyone's watching it either live stream or live. So there's always like sometimes up to 30 seconds difference between each other's things, so it's annoying if I commentate. But if something major happens, then yeah, I'll mention it. Also, just in case you're watching but you're not watching, you've got doing something else. Got both the stream and the football on at the same time. High-tech guru that you are. I might miss the problems. I've got two screens to watch. My Zwift screen and then both the World Cup games. So I may miss If you see me looking straight ahead down, I'm watching Zwift. And just keep an eye on the chat. This means I'm watching the football. Turn that fan right onto me now. Sword away. Come back. There you go. Alright. Oh. No goal, but England were inside the box. Looking dangerous. I don't know all the soccer terminology or football terminology. Just keep in mind them. I have played football as a junior for about 2 years, and we were the worst team in the league. I think for the 2 years that I played with them, I was considered one of the better players. And also, we celebrated when we didn't lose. I think that was once in the 2 years. I'm pretty certain we might have scored like 2 goals in 2 years. I had a hand in one of them. I didn't score, but I was an assist. And then we drew a match, and the other team was so pissed off. The kids were crying. Like, we didn't win, but they were. I think they might have played us a couple of times, so they're expecting to get a goal each or something. Stack up on their goal tallies, and I think it was because we had one really good player. Like, I was used by the coach for an example. That's how bad our teams were. During coaching, he'd get me to demonstrate, and I, as I said, I only played 2 years. I was like under 10s and 11s, or under 11s and under 12s. I played Aussie rules and cricket previously, but I was not a soccer player. Our team was the worst team in the worst division. We had one player who was, I don't know if they were like a standout ACT player, but they're far ahead of us. They're basically just solo from the back of the field to the goals. I only turned up probably twice a season, so they turned up for this match. When they did turn up, the games were close, so they turned up for this match. As I said, he made a break. I followed him, he passed it to me once. Well, obviously I only passed it once, but gave the ball to me. I literally tapped it back to him. That was my assist. I was like, why have I got the ball? I'm the wrong person. It's just me and 2 defenders and this guy, and the goal would have beat. And we're halfway having a break because pretty much the entire game was played an hour. Not even our half. It was pretty much played inside our penalty box. So we made a break outside the penalty box, crossed halfway. I had a sense to run after him. Unlike the rest of my team, we were just bewildered by the fact that we had the ball. And then he crossed it to me. I was like, no, I don't want it. You're doing well without it, without my help. Passed it straight back to him. The fact that it got back to him was enough to count as an assist, isn't it? Then he just soloed his way to the goals, got around the defender. Sometimes you have good goalkeepers, but most of the time they're under 11s, under 12s, under 10s. The goalkeeper's never watching the game, especially when the goalkeeper's playing us. It's the most boring match in the world for him. So I can't remember whether it was a good strike on goal, but he got the goal. Our team celebrated. It was 1-1 at the end, and as I was saying, literally there was kids crying in the opposition. It was hilarious. It's like the greatest day in our team's history. I think that was the last season I played with them too. it was so bad that the club had to keep sending coaches to coach us. We had started off with like under 19s or under 20s, under 21s. I'm not sure how it works in. Oh, right on. But yeah, we had, don't think it was a men's team, but very young players, could have been the men's team, coming to coach us. I think might have been just once a week, because we had a coach whose son played with us. And it was a typical scenario. They coached the same team simply because they wanted their son to be a great soccer player. And their son was a terrible soccer player. Frustrated the hell out of the dad. And then I suspect the kid probably eventually said, I don't want to play soccer anymore. So we're all standing there waiting for training. And the coach doesn't turn up at all. So we just kick the ball around. And then the next week, the club sent some footballers from either the adults team or the junior team to train us. It was funny because my friend played soccer, so I was like, oh, I'm going to play in their team. So I signed up. I think it's because I never played in the junior ranks before, so instead of being put into my friend's team, which is obviously a much better team, any team was much better, and not getting told to go join up this team, who obviously needed players, any sort of talent, even if it was crap talent like mine. So I rocked up. I worked out pretty quickly that they were all rubbish on my team. It was typical kids football. There was one kid whose parents just wanted to play football. I could play the route chaser, 750 XP. It's kind of confusing with the route chaser because it says 250, 500, 750 XP, but it's not perfectly clear that you get that bonus each time you finish. Not if you do all three. The total XP is 750. So one of the reasons why I did the route chaser, just to confirm that you do get. So every time you do a round, the bonus increases. Now 750 XP. It's pretty good going for just over half an hour effort. Usually only get about 900 XP or so per hour. Just ride it the regular way on Zwift. Maybe not even that. I think it's 700 if you just ride a workout by yourself without getting a route badge or anything. So if you're chasing points, I don't think I've got. So what you could do now is you go, okay, I've done the route badge. The annoying thing is if you're doing a workout like mine, you have to stop the workout and then pick it up on this spot, a different spot. It's all a bit of a faff. So I just keep riding the workout. Oh, I forgot to turn around. Let's do a U-turn and go. I've got the route badge, don't need to do it anymore. Turn left. So, yeah, if you weren't doing a workout, you just either teleport to Pacerbot. Oh, now is there a level up? Obviously there's a level up race, but if you're on a race, you can join. I haven't even paid much attention to the soccer, have I? Let's see, I couldn't see a level up event on workout, or ride I should say. Wonder if they stopped them because it's the end of the month. or if it's because of the weekend. Let's see. Yeah, so there's no level up rides, so I can't exit and then join a level up double XP ride. Have they finished those completely? What's happening on Tuesday? That way I can capture the North American time slot. Yeah, I can't see any level up rides anymore. So if you're looking to use the level up rides to get double XP every kilometre, can't do them anymore. They're done. But you've got the quick start and then the route of the week and the climb of the week obviously changes every week. I never quite confirm when it swaps over. It must be local time to Zwift, I'm assuming, which is West Coast. Well, England got into position but fizzled out in the end. Good pass. Got inside the box, had a shot. Keeper deflected it, or caught it. Deflected. Get my terminology right. What do you call it if you block it but you still hold on to the ball? Caught the ball? Because the keeper can block a shot but then it rebounds. Or we just say the keeper blocked it and then say nothing else unless it rebounds. Oh, Panama. Go on, Panama. Don't know why I'm cheering for him, but feels like it doesn't matter if they score. They didn't score though. Alright, no one got the answer to my question. No one's bothering to listen, maybe. I've forgotten the question. I'll move on to... I can just keep asking it till someone answers, I suppose. It's not very good for people watching the stream back on replay. It'd be frustrating not knowing the answer. You got Google though. You'll find it. Oh no, I'm not going up the hill. I've got to do a U-turn now. Well, something happened in the England game. Well, I was distracted. Nothing major, just a stiff tackle. Oh, shot on goal! Oh, that was close in the Croatia going again. Croatia hit the post from outside the box. Driving right foot. Beat the keeper but didn't hit the goal. Hit the post. Well, technically hit the goal. Far post. Oh, go left, go left. There we go. Almost missed the turn again. Now, if you notice, I'm riding the gravel bike with gravel wheels. Well, you can't really ride the gravel bike without gravel wheels, can you? But I'm on the gravel bike. Because distance doesn't really matter to me that much, even though I'm trying to get XP. But I do need to level up my gravel bike. I'm on level 3 at the moment. Looking to upgrade to level 4. Alright, the question was, who is the only player to have won the Men's World Cup 3 times? I'll start giving names. There's the options. If no one answers it, put right on. Oh, that's a chance from England, but lost it. Lost possession. It's a bit frantic in the English game. Pele, that's the answer, Chris. Oh, someone's got an e-bike out of me. It's like an e-bike, it's the old safety bike or something, isn't it? Buffalo bike. But they got like a dark outfit on, which looks like such a typical e-bike rider's outfit. Question, I had Pele. Chris. I can call you Pele if you want. How good were you at soccer? I didn't Google it. But the answers listed names. Obviously Maradona. I don't know who the other guy was. And then Ronaldo. But it lists obviously the whole full name, but Pele's only got one name. What's Pele's full name? You can Google that. But people probably know it already. I don't. I've only ever known as Pele. Surely it's not like Madonna where it's he's only got one name because he's got to have like 15 names or something, isn't it? And I just made Pele to make it easier. I've got to keep up with these ride-ons. Too late for those guys. Someone gave me one though. Wasn't from the group though. Oh, I missed a chance. Croatia's. What happened with Croatia? They didn't get a goal, but a lot of hands in the air. They're going to have a set shot from outside the box. Penalty kick. This is definitely a great way to do a workout. If you're not live streaming, hours can go by easily. Oh, no. Header went over the top of the crossbar from Croatia. At the same time, there was a long strike from England. Long range strike. Came to nothing. England definitely pushing up though. Got the pedal to the metal. Trying to hold the ball in the Croatian half the whole time. Oh. Oh, that was an opportunity missed from England. They're looking dangerous though. Very dangerous. I'd be sweating if I wasn't sweating already. Yeah, I was thinking of me something like that. It doesn't quite have the same read to it. It's an Arantes da Nascimento. Nascimento! I suppose you could do Nascimento. I'm not sure. I'm pretty certain I'm butchering the pronunciation. But Nascimento sounds exciting when you're calling the football. Edson, not so much. Edson makes a break. Edson! You've got to be deeper voice. So I'm guessing Pele is his nickname from his grandmother or something. It's always something like that. I know in the Asian culture, when you've got such difficult names, especially Chinese, I'll always adopt a Western name because Well, us Westerners are terrible at pronouncing other cultures' names. Every culture has that issue. The Chinese really struggle, especially Mandarin speakers, with pronunciations in English. But one of the good reasons, if you're Chinese, to change to an English name is a lot of the names are ridiculed because they do. It's like a lot of names in a lot of cultures. What sounds great in one culture can have a completely wrong, terrible meaning in another culture. My wife doesn't have that issue. She's Chen Wei Ting, Chen being the last name. And in her culture you pronounce the family name first. But her name's Wei Ting, Huiting, which can be very annoying to explain to people, especially in scenarios where they don't know who you are. You rock up to a doctor's office or any admin office, they're asking your name is, and they know that you might struggle with English, and you say waiting or waiting. They're like, no, what's your name? Waiting, Chen Waiting. And so that's really bad. She doesn't speak like that. I don't know why I did that accent. And so when she was at uni, the English uni lecturer gave her an English name. I've got a really runny nose. I got a cold last week. That's the reason why I didn't do this Sunday ride last week, and also didn't do the VO2 ride. It wasn't a terrible cold, but I got a cold on the Saturday before the Sunday ride. Well, last Saturday. I felt a bit rubbish on the Saturday. I could feel lethargic. I knew I was coming down with something. It's always hard to tell because I'm ramping up my training. You have a little bit of a break. But when you're training harder again, it can actually be difficult working out whether you're tired from the train load or getting tired from illness, or both. I'm pretty certain I was tired for illness because I did have a little bit of good English. I had a few rest days earlier in that week. So yeah, I had a pretty sore throat come Saturday night. So I thought, it's no use jumping on and doing even half an hour on a Sunday morning. I'm not a pro. Just take a rest. Oh, gotta watch the soccer. Panama's got a shot on, a penalty shot, corner. Here we go. Got excited for no reason. Something happened in the Croatia game. Is it the drinks break? Must be the drinks break. Time for a Gatorade. Great thing is, Gatorade haven't sponsored me, so there's no bias whatsoever in this channel. Thanks Gatorade for not causing bias. Oh. Tell you what, Panama, making England fans a bit nervous there. Anyway, so back to me being sick, back to me. Who cares about the football? So I took Tuesday off, got back on the bike on Wednesday. One of the things I always struggle with, just lost my attention on the football for a second. England had a chance. I think it's a corner. It's always hard to know when I should get back on the bike. because there's always that thing where if you wait too long, oh no, no corner. If you wait too long, you lose a bit of training. Wait until you're perfectly fit. If you go back too early, you've got to stop training again. So, did an easy half an hour. It's pretty much grey and blue on Wednesday. What I was worried about was getting lung infection, which I still can get. But I don't seem to be coughing. And my colds, I've got a runny nose, but the cold symptoms are gone. I did the TT on Thursday, not TTT, and then a race on Friday. Oh, the soccer's taking my attention. Yeah, so I always found that really hard, especially when my train load was really high. Because one of the things about having a really high train load is you have a lot of hormones going through your body to dull the pain. So when you take time off sick, you get the feeling of being sick, plus also the hormones go down as your body goes, okay, let's recover. It's a great opportunity to let your hormones recover to normal levels, but then you also feel worse. So that was actually one of the hardest things, was trusting when to come back from illness. It's so easy to come back too early. All right. Oh, whoa, that was a good shot. Croatia's made the goalkeeper work there. Was actually a great shot on goal, but it was good moment in the game. Rightio. The Croatia Ghana game has really come alive. It's actually quite difficult watching both the matches. Whoa! There we go. Swap to the Croatia match if you're watching the English match for a quick update on the goal. Don't have to, if you're interested. I'll let you know if anything happens in the English game if you can't watch both at the same time. So much space. Just it's a good strike. Those sort of strikes though, as a non-soccer football player, I see that as a kind of thing, oh, you see that so often where a player has a shot from so far out and the ball just flies over the net like 10 metres to left or right or above. You're like, what'd you take that shot for? What a waste. You could have passed into the box or gotten closer. But then you see in the score like that, you're like, oh, okay, that's why they take 30 shots. it's Alright, if you've seen the goal netting, swap back to the England game if you need to. Panama's got possession, at least it does on my screen. Oh, that was a half. Didn't have a shot on goal, but that was dangerous. From Panama, offside though, didn't matter. Well, I forgot to give a ride-ons. Sorry, Zwifters. Yeah, Chris. If I didn't have the TTT on Thursday, it would have been really easy for me to say, alright, Wednesday, no riding at all. Get back on the bike Thursday, half an hour easy. And then on Thursday, probably going, no, I don't feel that great. Just the good thing was the TTT was London 8 or something, where it's only like 12 kilometres of flat before you hit the climb. Well, England had a shot. Similar sort of position as the Croatia goal, but resulted in what usually happens when you have a shot from that spot. So the good thing for me, because I'm riding in a latte at the moment, where we've got stronger seas, so I will get stronger. But my goal in the team was just to do some turns on the flat. I did do the third and then the last pull into the climb. It's not really necessary because the Bs, if you've ever done TTTs before, you'll know that if you've got a category at the top of a category, if you've got a rider at the top of a category, but you need to get a lower category rider home for a result, it's actually kind of difficult going up like Box Hill, any of the longer climbs, because the lower cut rider really does struggle so much more. So I wouldn't say it's easy, but you can almost recover on the climbs. Unless it's the lower category rider is super light, so they don't break cat limits from weight. So they've got to hit super high watts per kilo. Or the climb isn't long enough for them to break cat limits. Yeah, I love the ladder series. Unfortunately, I started getting unfit when the ladder series started. I love the idea of the format. There was a bit of political issues. Our team was number one in the ladder for a good while, but back then there was big issues, I'm not sure if there still is, of weight taping and sticky wadding. There was. It's funny because there is checks and balances in the ladder league. It's probably much better now because I've had far more time. Oh, both games are, can't take my eyes off them. Oh, close from England. Yeah, so we had our team basically crack the shits, stop trying to defend our position, because it's just, especially one certain team, just out and out cheat in their ranks. I think one of the things that really annoyed us was the whole captain's agreement thing about steering. That's when it came to a head, really. There were the riders in that team who were obviously dodgy, but the thing that cracked my team most, okay, go left, forgot to turn left, was the fact that the captains agreed to no steering. And then the other team rode with steering on. And when our captain complained in the race, the other captain said, oh well, it's just a gentleman's agreement, it's not a rule. And instead of going, okay everyone don't use steering, they just kept using steering. And then the controllers of the ladder league organiser said, well, it's just a gentleman's agreement, results stand. It was such a load of crap. So our team just went, no, screw the ladder series. Now of course that was a long time ago, so I'm not going to say that's what it is now, so I might get back into it. It's just I have a little bit of a history with it. We'll see if any team wants me to jump in for them. Especially during this time of year, because all years, Northern Hemisphere is, forget what Zwift is, so there's not much racing going on, except for you got the Level Up Racing series, which, as we all know, it's a Wild West. I did a race on Friday. The winner wasn't cheating, the winner was just really bad at racing. Their watts per kilo was so much higher than they should be for someone in their category. Well, that was a shot from Ghana, just wide of the post. But the guy who came second, I noticed they were sprinting at every sprint segment to get the jersey. But the biggest thing I noticed is the fact that they'd do a short sprint just before the sprint line, but then their rider would stay in their sprinting position after the sprint line, which is always a telltale because no one sprints after a sprint line. They obviously weren't very good at it because they could have stopped pedalling well before the sprint line and just... But anyway, so then it's that 3 laps of that Isseldorf or whatever it's called, New York lumpy course. I got dropped on the very last climb. It was almost like they were, it was smart, but I was almost thinking I just got to get to the top of the climb because these guys don't seem to realise that the top's not the finish. They're all sprinting for the banner. So I kept on the power afterwards, but then it was clear that they still had energy in the tank. I couldn't close them down. It was getting further away. So I started watching the Sticky Watt Cheetah. And by then there was a rider about 20 seconds up the road or 15 seconds up the road who we never caught. But the Sticky Watt rider, of course, just Sticky Watted the sprint coast. Very frustrating to watch because Zwift do not have a mechanism to let riders know that cheaters. In all honesty, I think they just think that they have a good technique because they're not on Zwift power at all. They're a pretty low level rider, like level 40 or something. So they've just done the usual thing where they use a power meter, work out that it seems easier if you go hard and then have a rest. Go hard and have a rest. Zwift teaches them. Doesn't let them know that that's cheating at all. So they weren't on Zwift power, so I can't use the tool to show the sticky watts. Oh, that was terrible. what was England doing there? But yeah, they're definitely sticky wadding. I feel like sending a message to them saying, look, you know you're a cheating bastard, but what's the point? They'll find out to their embarrassment maybe, or just to everyone else's frustration. Because they'll get fitter, they'll go up the cuts if they get fitter. But they were in, what am I, 620, so I was like 0 to 650 CRS score. So it doesn't really matter. I got a good training ride out of it. It's just frustrating. It's more frustrating for the guy that came second, because the guy that came second was going to win the sprint. It's only because Sticky Watt guy got to have a rest. The last 150 metres before the line, they stopped pedalling, got to within 50 metres of the line, just pedalled again, and just went past the rider. I assume they stopped at about 150 metres because they had 3 seconds of free pedalling. You could see the rider start coasting just about, maybe just before 50 metres. And it was about a bike length behind the rider that came first. Sorry, second. Third, I should say. The rider was going to come second. It was about a bike length ahead, and then all of a sudden another 1,000 watts came out of the not pedalling rider. So, yeah, the Sticky Watt thing, you're talking about I think it's not an option which you select on the racer. What do you mean, Chris? What option? You talking about the Sticky Watts or the chucking people out of the race? Oh, the steering, I think you're talking about. So steering is not an option, so in terms of steering is always on. Because I'm pretty certain every single ladder race got steering, which I agree with now. It should have been optional when we were doing it, because that was 2 years ago. But now, countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, you can pick up steering using the Zwift Clicks 2, I think. Clicks version 2. Obviously if you've got the Zwift ride, but the pathway to steering now is a lot more viable. I've got to stand up, get my butt a rest. So I don't see any reason not to have steering in all races on Zwift now. WOTRL, I think they had series where you could choose steering if you raced in the category. Oh, here we go. Penalty shots. Both teams, not goal kicks, but, well, whatever you call them, in the penalty box, but close to the penalty box. They're both about, whoop. Alright, so Croatia had theirs. Nothing happened. Oh, that was close. It almost looked like it went in the goal because it hit the back of the net. Drew hit the boards. It was well wide, at least a foot from England. Almost half time for both matches. We'll get some more questions going. Is that by the organisers or by yourself as the captains? But yeah, I think Ladder League did request them. When we were doing it, they were requesting it, but I think there's a little bit of, because there was some riders in our team who there was a little bit of friction with the organiser. So we knew that the other team was cheating. It was a matter of getting the ladder to agree. So, but from what I've heard, they do have like a Zada for the ladder series. It is better than WTRL. I know that. I actually did, when I did my race, it was up the top of the Innsbruck KOM, so on the way down I did some sprint super tucks. And it was early on in the sticky watts picking up thing. And it wasn't that I was getting sticky watts, it was just the fact that I was doing like a sprint coast thing. But it was on a descent where you have to sprint hard into the descent and then on the flat sprint hard again. So then got flagged, but then they reviewed it and went, it's not super tough, not sticky watts, just normal stuff. And that's the thing, what I like about the series run by the community. Whilst I do have issues dating back to that, my teammates' issue, it's much better than the pickup races, the Z Racing series on Zwift. Because as you say, there's community managers for the races. So there is someone to talk to. And then people to check the validity of riders, which is much better than in Z Racing. Or even WTRL, where you get many people still sticky wadding WTRL rides. I actually stayed away from, it wasn't Z Racing at the time, it was just Zwift regular races. I had to stay away from them completely when I was at my fittest, because I was just, there was no point. Either the competition wasn't stiff enough or it was a cheat. It's just cheating their way, and you could ride away with them, but that it's very hollow. It's much better to do a series. Well, can I keep an eye out for the, see if I can see the Yeti? No, the Bigfoot. No Bigfoot, because when that cardboard or the wooden cutout, if you saw on the right hand side, when that wooden cutout's up, there is no Bigfoot. You won't see it. You can spend hours sitting there, nothing will happen. It's when that wooden silhouette of the Bigfoot's not there that the Bigfoot appears. Coming from another direction, you can choose a couple of courses. Don't know why I'm pointing. You can choose a couple of courses that start a few kilometres down this road, going the other direction, and then you'll see Bigfoot. Alright, half time. Give everyone a chance to go get something to drink and popcorns if they're not lying in bed. A few Mars bars. I'd like to acknowledge Mars Bar for not sponsoring this event, so I'm not biased. Thank you, Mars Bar. Alright, let the half-time commentators say their 2 cents. Can't actually hear anything though. Yeah, it's actually one of the great things about not doing sea racing. When you do community events, most of the time private data is not allowed, because pretty much someone's got private data. Most of the time it's the fact that there's a cheater, absolute cheater. They get sick of people calling them cheats. There are some people who simply just don't click it because they're worried about people using the data for whatever reasons. But I'm of the opinion there's so much data on the internet already about me that I think Strava's different, because your Strava, your privacy matters, especially if you're a female. Not so much if you're overweight white male, but still, you never know. But when you're on Zwift, it doesn't matter if people know that you're in New York or Watopia. It doesn't really matter about your heart rate, power data. Those people that have private data are not professionals. If you're a pro, like I know when James was riding for Ineos for the cyclaws, they barred him from showing his data. He had no choice. But that isn't most people's situations, is it? Most people's situations is either they've got pictures of themselves on Strava looking 30 or 40 kilos heavier than they really are. Well, 30, 40 kilos heavier than they are in Zwift. Or slow. Or, yeah, the data just shows sticky watts. I'm actually going to do a video, possibly. I'm definitely doing a video about a plug-in tool on Zwift Power. I'm just talking to the creator this weekend because he's releasing an update. That should be some pretty cool things. But one of the things that he created a while ago is the ability for it to judge sticky watts. And it's funny because you can go back to anyone's Zwift Power data in the past. So I went back in the days when the glory days of when I was in ZRL with the ACAT, the original ACAT, none of this second grade ACAT stuff on CRS. And just checking on riders who I thought sticky watt. And the tool works really well. It says that I'm right. Gives my tick of approval. But there's a rider who 100% knew was a sticky watt cheat, winning races in the Open 1 division, highest level in ZRL for that time zone, and it verified for sure. But they were not pedaling for 30% of the race, like gaining 30% extra power, or 30%, not sure how to phrase it, but basically they were using sticky watts for 30% of the race. And crucially, they'll be using that during the hardest parts of the race. The sprint segments and the finish. The issue with this tool, obviously, is someone's got private data. It doesn't work. I don't think you have to be on. Obviously, you have to have a Zwift Power account. I don't always talk about cheating on Zwift whenever I stream. I'm on for 2 hours though. So, okay, now the good thing about this workout is that it does take cardiac drift into account. It's not smart cardiac drift thing, but if you do 90 minutes, it'll just keep the 3 minute, 1 minute intervals going the same. Once you get over 90 minutes, if you do 2 hours or 3 hours of it, as you can see, my 3 minute efforts have dropped down. My 1 minute efforts are the same. What I'm trying to do is keep my heart rate below 150. Ideally around 143 at the lowest, or even less, but nowhere near. If it gets 155, then I'll drop down the percentage. Now this is bro science in terms of if I'm a bit more tired or a bit more fresh, that changes. So one of the good things about doing the live stream is that I should be able to talk, not easily, but during these efforts, I should be able to get out fairly long sentences-ish for me. Just like when you're outdoors having a group ride with your mates, a long steady ride. Or if you're really strong and you're beasting up the climb, trying to make your mates talk because you know they're suffering, asking them how things are. Trying to crack jokes to make them laugh so they can't breathe. Darren, what are you still doing up? Oh, I forgot to ask questions. We've been on halftime for a while now. I'm not doing Kahoot, Darren, because it's impossible to watch the football and my stream at the same time and Kahoot. So there are people that can do it. What's the point? You watching the football, Darren? Probably go back to it once it starts again. So if I'm looking straight ahead, I'm looking at my Zwift and my chat. If I'm over here, it's because I'm watching both England and Croatia not playing each other. It's very difficult to actually watch the football with two teams playing at the same time, or four teams playing at the same time. I'll get a quick question in. Which country knocked Italy out of the 1996, sorry, start again. Which country knocked out, I should be able to read this. Which country knocked Italy out of the 1966 World Cup in one of the tournament's biggest shocks? Might not have been the world's, but one of the tournament's biggest shocks, but it says it was a big shock. Knocking Italy out of the 1966 World Cup. Anyone know which team? I'm not going to give the A to D answers. See if anyone knows the team off by heart. Pretty certain that people might know this. See if we get an answer before the game start again. Otherwise I'll give countries. Is your WOW event on tonight? Well, my tonight, your morning, I suppose. Darren, tomorrow. Can't put the link in the description, which is annoying, or the chat. But you can let people know what it's called. Oh, Eric Schlange gave me a ride on. Pretty certain it was this wake up We'll open the companion app and press the right on button for everyone Zwifting. I'm getting lots of right-ons. Must be because everyone's opened their app up at the football half-time. Alright, England's underway again. Croatia and Ghana are making their way out. At least on my screen. It's probably different on yours. I'm recovering from a cold, Darren. Didn't ride last Sunday or Tuesday. Didn't stream. Not that anyone would have noticed, but I did put an apology up. It's my Saturday night, Sunday morning. Kind of feels funny. It's like, sorry guys, I'm not streaming. It's kind of like, well, you're assuming people are geared up and ready to go. You're going to be disappointed that you're still streaming. I'm assuming a lot. But I kind of feel like if I'm doing regular Sunday rides like I am, I do have to put up something saying, hey, if you're riding on Zwift or you're watching YouTube on a Saturday night, I'm not going to be there. I saw that you had a big race. How long did you stay in? Was it 50 minutes, Darren? 50 minutes of ketchup. Usually you're the ride leader, so I'm assuming there's a different sort of format this time. Unless you weren't the ride leader and you stepped up to a race. At 1 hour 7. So it wasn't the 100 kilometre event usually do. It was a 45 kilometre event, was it? You're talking about Ray who streams the, I forget if he's Scottish. Is he Scottish? I don't want to say Scottish just in case he's not. But he was on the Zwiftcast. Remember that? Not Zwiftcast. Got him going back in the years, aren't I? He was on Zwifty Chats, wasn't he? Same team as Chris. I might be a different Ray. That's why you mentioned them. Such a personal level, Darren. Paint gave com. Whoa, good shot from Ghana. Just over the crossbar. Oh, it is Ray though. It is on Zwifty Chats. Ben and Zwifty Chats far too much. Doesn't let the guest chat enough. Yeah, tactical what? I really need to blow my nose. It's pretty gross. Should mute the microphone. I'll mute the microphone. Hopefully I remember to unmute it. Hopefully I don't use that end of the towel later on. Make sure I stick it down on the wheel. That's better. Yeah, I've been talking to Rob. One of the issues is I go back to China in August for 3 weeks. So if he starts getting free time, I won't be able to co-guest host. But potentially, come peak Zwift season, I'm trying to get 2 streams in a week. You want to go to South Korea? Where did the South Korea comment come from? What was I missing? Was there something about South Koreans on the football? I've got a friend who's from South Korea. She's so funny. I used to work with her in the coffee shop. She was like cliche South Korean girl. She just tells so many funny stories. It's growing up, because she's younger than me, but she's still sort of slightly older generation. She's not 20. I think she's probably 35 now. So when she grew up, it was obviously South Korea and North Korea had a very, very rough time of it. But she tells stories about how her mum, same thing with Whitney in China, but South Korea's even worse. There is a real reality then, being abducted. It's pretty rough as a young Asian woman, especially a few decades ago. You're getting it from all sides. You're getting it from the Europeans, you're getting it from the communists, Russians. So safety is such a big issue. So when she came to Australia, she'd been in Australia for a couple of years, but she used to take the bus home. And after one day at work, she came into work and she was talking about how she took the bus home the day before, and a young woman was having a conversation with her. She was enjoying the conversation. She's quite funny, so I imagine the other person just liked talking to her. But she's like, oh, I was holding onto my purse and messaging my boyfriend to come and get me from the bus stop. She's married to him now, but boyfriend at the time. Because she was worried she was going to be abducted by this person simply because they were talking to her on the bus. Got to keep an eye on the soccer. Football. But yeah, she was saying that in South Korea, it's just absolutely mad with obsession with looks. The women who are not even 20 years old getting plastic surgery. She introduced me to the concept of double eyelid. I never heard of double eyelid. I'm still not quite sure what it is. But she was like, oh, Koreans get double eyelid cosmetic surgery. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? So, Westerners, we've got a double eyelid, they call it. And so Koreans, because they are looking for the Western look, same with Chinese, they try and look as pale as possible. Us Westerners are trying to look tanned as possible. So, but they get surgery so that they get that double eyelid, because obviously you know how, especially very Korean people, Whitney's got a double eyelid, so it's not all Chinese. It depends on the ethnicity, because China, oh, that was close for Ghana. Oh, now England's made a break. Oh, shot on goal from England. I think it's more northern China, so the Han people, a bit like the Koreans, got the very flat, so when they shut their eye and open their eye, there's no creasing. So that's apparently what they do. They get operations to give themselves a Western eyelid. I'm not sure if it's still popular, because this was a decade ago. I was talking to her. I haven't seen her for a few years, as you do when you change workplaces. Keep in contact with a bit. She's had 2 girls. Actually, she married an Australian Chinese, which is funny because she always tells me how she doesn't like Chinese people. She loves Japanese people. When she goes to Japan don't like Koreans. I'm being very general here. It's not always the case. Very generalised. But it's just funny hearing different cultures talk about other cultures and their experiences. But she's married now, 2 kids, 2 girls, and she actually went to Chamlong in China in Zhuhai, which is actually where I go at least once a year. China's a very big place, so it's interesting that she ended up in the same place that I go to quite often, because my son's great-grandfather is still alive, living in Zhuhai. An old harbour master. He used to be the harbour master around the waters of Zhuhai and Macau, which is very close to Hong Kong. It's basically the same bay. And Zhuhai is one of the provinces in China where it's a special economic zone. They get basically assistance from the Chinese government, tax incentives and things. Shenzhen is the most well known. So Shenzhen's where DJI, Insta360, right, or even the manufacturing, I think maybe Huawei, but pretty much Shenzhen is the Silicon Valley of China. Zhuhai is the other side of Guangzhou. It's like a trident. It's the mainland city of China, right next to Macau. And it has the same treatment. But the big difference is it's got Macau rather than Hong Kong next to it. And Macau hasn't got anywhere near as much investment in technology. So Zhuhai was supposed to explode like Shenzhen. It's actually a much older city than Shenzhen. But the fact is Shenzhen's got all the investment from the Hong Kong companies. It's much cheaper to manufacture and invest in Shenzhen than it is Hong Kong. So that's my... I've never been to Japan. As an Australian, I can go to Japan quite easily. Japan actually kind of sick of Australians going there. I might go to Japan though. The thing about it is, it's still actually a long way away from Guangzhou, which I go to. It's basically Hong Kong, same distance from Japan. So I think it's still like a 5-hour flight. Whitney's been there, but as a Chinese national, she needs... Where am I going? I don't want to go. Oh, I'm going up, that's alright. Should I do a U-turn though? I don't want to go up this hill. Let's just do a U-turn. So, as a Chinese national, Whitney needs to get a special visa just to go to Macau or Hong Kong. She can get it, she just needs to apply for it. And then with Japan have got much stricter rules with Chinese nationals. So she has to go through a much stricter process. She can get it. It just means, it's a stricter thing. So my sister and brother are gone to Japan. It's just when you're travelling with a 2-year-old, like a kid, the thought of having to travel another 5 hours on a plane is not appealing. Even going to Guangzhou, now that he's 2 and not 6 months old, I'm not looking forward to that plane flight. I think it's direct flight, 8 or 9 hours. Now if we were rich, get business class like our friends. So Whitney's got a Chinese friend. I think she has New Zealand Chinese. Anyway, she's married an Australian, got a Chinese baby, Australian citizen like Ethan, who family live in Guangzhou, so she goes to Guangzhou occasionally. But their family is super rich. The dad, I think, is a partner in a law firm or something. So they get to fly business class. It was quite funny because we'd been to China a couple of times before they did. So we're talking to them about tips about travelling on the plane, but we never bothered asking if they're flying business class or coach. And then they posted the picture going, oh, everything's going well. And then they are sitting in business class. But, well, most of my tips were utterly superfluous. Is that the word? The word of the day, superfluous? It's so far from New Zealand though, Japan. It's like the other side of the world. Here in Australia we used to joke about digging a hole into the ground coming out in China. And Japan's right next to China. It's not the opposite side of the world, but I suppose if you're flying from where you are, if you go to Japan you might as well keep going, go around the world. You'd love New Zealand. You'd probably go for a run if you're on the South Island, Darren, and never stop. The scenery is amazing. I've never actually been to the South Island. I'm just saying what I've seen, what we've all seen. I've been to North Island. Yeah, 8-hour flight. It's also bad if you're single. I remember when I used to travel, I used to go to Europe, fly to London or Barcelona, a few years in a row. God, I hated it. But looking back on it now, I was like, oh, that was so bliss. I really hate sitting in a tin can for so long. I do get kind of, there are periods of the flight when I'm slightly claustrophobic. Really looking forward to getting out of the plane. Not panicking claustrophobic, but just really looking forward to being out of the plane. I think it's getting worse as I get older and have a kid. What's happening in the soccer? England, oh no, Panama got a penalty shot. What do you call it when it's not a goalkeeper on player shot? It's just a penalty kick, not a spot kick. Nothing came of it. So so when I used to travel by myself, especially travelling to England, it wasn't non-stop. You can do non-stop now. Don't know if I like that more or less flight time, but at least when you stop you get to go get out. Is it called a spot kick when it's just you versus a goalkeeper? Or is that a penalty kick? Or is it a penalty shot? What's it called? Penalty kick. Goal kick, penalty kick, okay. I've got to keep that in the memory bank. Not the memory bank that disconnects when I go to sleep. Oh. Watching the England game at the moment. Oh, that looked very dangerous. Nothing came out of it. Yeah, so penalty kick is player versus goalkeeper. All right. Portugal in 1 hour. I've only got 15 minutes left. I might have a shower. I can go for another half an hour. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? You know what it's, you now feel like, well, now you know what it feels like being Australian watching most world sporting events. We're actually lucky here because Socceroos are playing at midday on Friday. That never happens. It's one of the advantages having the events so far away from Australia. Eventually it's the next day, so a lot of the matches are on at 6 a.m. If it's in Europe, the earlier matches start at fine, like you can watch them at night time before you go to bed, but most of the matches at 3 a.m. An example is the F1. F1's usually starting at hour 11 p.m. Not too bad. Oh, England got a goal. I missed it. Too busy complaining as an Australian, whinging Aussie. But yeah, Formula 1's usual time is 11 p.m. for us. And if it's in the Americas, forget about it. Don't even bother. It's rough being an international sports fan as an Aussie. Good thing is we're usually not working when it's on. Usually. If you haven't got a night shift. If you do have a night shift, hopefully you got a TV. Alright. Is it onside? Is it onside? It's a Harry Kane that scored. I haven't got the commentary on. Well, it's hard to. Yeah, it was Kane. I'm assuming it's onside because they're checking the. Not sure what they're checking. Was it offside? Was it? What's? Oh no, that's the Panama fans with their hands on their head. Getting confusing because England are playing in red, but the Panama fans are wearing red. Very confusing. I watched Portugal's last match. Oh, Macca's match break. Where's my Macca's? I could do with a Big Mac right now. Thanks McDonald's not sponsoring this channel. Removes any bias towards their products. What was I saying about Darren? Oh yeah, Portugal. I watched their last match. Oh. God, Ronaldo made him look silly, didn't he? I'm not sure if it's just, I don't know, but he looked kind of slow. But not slow, if you know what I mean. Like when he had the ball, as all great players do, not all of them actually, some players look really fast, but when he gets the ball, he creates time. So much time. It's slightly different to Messi. Messi has time, but there's, maybe it's just that match because the defenders got absolutely bamboozled. But one of the striking things about watching it, it's just, it was almost like he got the ball and everyone just stood away and go, okay, let's watch how good he is. Who's CR7? He's 41 now. We talk about Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, number 7. Yeah, that's got to be it. He's 41. I know he's 41, but he's still fast. Like, he runs fast. But it was just striking after watching a lot of other matches, because he's a level above everyone else. So when he gets the ball, it's almost like, well, it's same with every sport, skill-based sports. When someone gets a ball who's just an enigma, let's create time. So yeah, when he gets the ball, it just looks like, okay, what's he going to do with it? Occasionally he'll just do, like, get the ball and kick it straight away. But most of the time he just has that look. He just knows. Watching AFL players and playing as AFL players, obviously most of you guys got no idea. But when AFL, it's got so many more players on the field, it's so frantic. But then when you get a player that has so much skill, they get the ball, and players just, looks like they just stop. Like, okay, he's got the ball. What do we do? And they panic. And just gives him extra time, or she extra time. When I used to get the ball, he'd be like, time, accelerate. It's got the ball, like, holy crap, I got rid of it, thank God. Where am I going? Good, I'm not going the wrong way. Or am I going the wrong way? Have I been going up and down this stupid loop? I didn't want to do that. That was annoying. I should have been paying attention to the thing. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I was supposed to go back along the coast. The football's been too frantic. My Macca's broke. Speaking of which, I need to have more sugar. I've only got 6 minutes left, but it's good to get the sugar in now. Whilst the body's still, what's the physiology called? Anyway, you don't get diabetes if you eat sugar now. And the body can use the sugar to help repair the muscles. Faster recovery. I should have gone towards the southern coast. What a waste of... Lucky I'm on the gravel bike. Would have been really annoying if I'm on the road bike. Alright. So, score update. Spoiler. Press mute for 5 seconds if you don't want to know the scores. 2-0 to England and 1-0 to Croatia. The portal climb. So the climb of the week's actually really good at the moment. If you do the 50% route, it takes you about 10 minutes to get up it. And you get, was it 500 XP? If you're looking to level up. I know you don't do that sort of thing, Darren. You do it the hard way, which is absolutely anything you do. Yeah, I'm watching the England game probably more than the Croatian game, but the Croatian game's a bigger game, isn't it? Well, they change it? Colder. They change it? I'm sure I did yesterday. And it was something else. Or maybe it's the same one. It's all Spanish to me. French. Something Latin-based language to me, which is English. But Still, is English Latin? It's got to be Latin, surely. Welcome to the quiz. So, got question 2 after an hour and 56. Which country knocked Italy out of the 1966 World Cup? One of the tournament's biggest shocks. I'll give the countries the options. Mind you, it's pretty exciting in the soccer at the moment. Just wait till that settles down. Both teams are, or both matches are. Okay, so what's the Croatia one? England's not much happening at the moment. It's a goal check for Ghana. Mustn't be that one then, Darren. The one I did yesterday took me 10 minutes at 50% elevation. so sad you missed out on that one. Not that you do there. You do the XP. The regular way. Yeah. It's taking a while for the VAR to come up. Oh, where's my right? Did I miss it? I haven't got much time to go before I stop. I can do another 30 minutes. I should go to the end of these matches, shouldn't I? You going for Croatia? Darren, I'm assuming you're going for Croatia. I can't be 100% sure because I can't make assumptions. I was going the right direction. I could go left and go up the out. Good thing that it's flat around here. I was actually, oh, here we go. Okay, what's happening? There is a player offside, but do they interfere with the ball, as Australia's found out? There was a lot of interference going on. I haven't got the commentary on, so do they interfere with the Croatian defenders? That's the interesting thing. There is an offside player. But as we know in the Australian game, just because a player's offside doesn't mean it's offside, because they've got to actually take part in till they stop the defender. I know, I'm just saying the same thing the commentators are probably saying. It's a tricky one. Because there's definitely a defender blocked by that offside player. What are they going to do? Nothing's happened in the England game while I've been concentrating. Makes me laugh that referees have got these. It's a goal, 1-1. So this is the thing I was talking about earlier, which confuses me. Well, it puts me out. We'll look at the goal for a bit longer, but I'll come back to them. Just look at the cameras at the moment now. Actually, you probably can't see that, but when I do the face of the crowd cameras, I'm going to keep wandering around for a bit. I got to turn right here, don't I? What do you think? Goal or no goal? It's a really contentious decision, isn't it? Because that defender was not given an opportunity to defend. Did they actually, were they going to interfere? I turn right, Darren. Oh, my wrist. Should put a bit more power on because one of the things is when you put more power down, you actually put less pressure on your wrists and butt because you're pushing yourself out of the seat all the time. It's actually hard to ride slow long distances sometimes, just because of the different pressure points. Now, so 1-1. I'm glad I'm not a referee because that was such a 50-50 call. Obviously Croatian, it wasn't a goal. Ghana, it was a goal. But in America, they're moving towards using really wide open aperture, full frame cameras. Not for the shots you see now. These are traditional broadcast cameras where everything's in focus. You can see the player closer to the camera and the crowd off in the distance in detail. But in American sports, they've really moved to using really shallow depth of field for certain shots, like they had the crowd cheering. And it's really weird because you go from most of the shots where everything's in detail, or focus I should say. It's a really wide open focus distance. Everything's in focus. And then you go to the crowd shots or the player shots up close. And everything's blurry except for that tiny slither of person, just their nose or their ear or something sometimes, just their eyes, even their hair at the top of their head's out of focus. It's like me here, I've got a blurry background because I'm running a lens that's got a really shallow depth of field. If I move forward and back, like because I'm quite far away from myself, but see I get blurry if I move back. So it doesn't matter. This sort of shot, it works well. You don't need to see the mess that's up there. But when you're used to watching a sport where traditionally everything's in focus, it's really weird. Alright, going stay right. I'm not going up that hill. Surprisingly, I'm going back to quite strong power. I can probably back it off a bit, can't I? My trainer belt's making some squeaking noises. I've got to check on my trainer belt. It reminds me, got to open up the trainer and have a look. Make sure there's no cracks in it. Yellow card to a Panama player. Pretty much. Doesn't matter, does it? Why does it say Fago Flats on my map up there? So it's Fago Flats, 6 kilometres. These ain't Fago Flats. Don't think I took a shortcut. Oh, Kane's off. Oh, I missed a shot on goal. Croatia. Goalkeeper did well there. What I might do if I've got time, Darren, for Kahoot, although next week will probably be football Kahoot, football watch along as well. But once we get back to Kahoot, what I do is I take screenshots from different parts of the map for a Zwift. Whoa! Go back to the Croatia, Ghana game. You're not watching it. Go back to it. I'm guessing you're going for Croatia, Darren. You haven't said it yet. You're on your feet. So this is the sort of shots, if you're watching, fans are going crazy. So depth of field, so narrow. Looks cool in isolation, but weird when you've got most of the broadcast in focus. You don't care about them, okay? That was an unstoppable goal. Nothing the goalkeeper can do about that. Yeah, Brazil. So I didn't want to say anything about Croatia because I don't know a lot about the political stuff from your nation. When I grew up as a kid, same with you. My God, it's a bit like what's happening with the wars at the moment. There's absolute turmoil in that part of the world. It's glad it's all settled down, I think. Because you're someone of my age, aren't you, Darren? So Brazil, when I grew up, even though I wasn't not European, I still paid attention to the World Cup. Usually, my memories as a little kid was waking up to go to school and sitting in front of the heater watching the World Cup at like 7 in the morning. And Brazil was obviously, like it always is, we're Middle East. I'm on FIGO for that, it's not Middle East. But I'm talking about the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. Iran, Ukraine wars, and also, of course, the Middle East has been absolute turmoil. I don't want to get too much because I don't know what's like in the rest of the world. But if you bring up a certain country, you're likely to get, it's just not worth the hassle. Not worth the hassle. Don't even bring it up, Darren. Alright, how's my ride going? 2 hours and 8 minutes. There's a minimum of 3 minutes extra time, isn't there, because of the Macca's break. Yeah, I don't want to get too religious, but it is. Religion does a lot of good things, but also the water break. Yeah, it's the Macca's break. My sugar break. I don't need to keep putting the sugars in. I didn't have enough time to finish my coffee this morning, so I've finished half my coffee before dumping in my 160 grams of sugar. Oh. Yeah, it's coffee with basically instant coffee. I didn't have time to finish my coffee this morning, and then refined sugars, though, when you're exercising isn't a deal. It's basically the body can break it down very fast. If you're doing long rides, if you're doing it now, it's not critical. I still encourage it. But if you're doing 2-hour training rides, that's one of the things that I credit with my increase in power. I was kind of stagnant for a while until I really upped it with the sugar, because it's one thing to take sugar when you're not exercising. I agree with that. If you're not exercising, if if you can cut sugars out, especially refined sugars, obviously carbohydrates, they are sugars. So, but if you take complex carbs, they're good. But when you're exercising, the faster the body can turn what you're eating into energy, the better it is. You get better quality training. One of the things when I was doing 3-hour workouts was that it was almost pointless doing a 3-hour workout unless I fueled it. Because the last hour, whoa, go to the Panama England game. Oh, it's offside though. What a shame. If you're doing long 2-hour, 3-hour rides, you want quality. It's the reason why you're doing them. And you need recovery. Sugars give you that. Even if you finish the ride, you can do it within the next 20 minutes of a ride. Get some sugar in. It goes straight to your muscles, not straight. But your body can get it to your muscles really quickly and rebuild your muscles. So recovery is quicker. But also your workouts are higher quality if you give it fuel. It's like taking a car for a drive. Taking it on a racetrack. Formula 1's a great example at the moment. It's like a Formula 1 car. You're running out of battery. You go so much slower. Obviously it doesn't matter about training the F1 engines, but it's the same thing when you're training. If you last half an hour, your muscles aren't running, firing on all cylinders. You're not getting that training adaptation that you need. So I'm a massive fan of just putting white sugar in a cup, at least 60 grams an hour. Train your stomach to also take carbs on board. Running, it's very different for you because runners, you're not really taking on you're not taking on energy drinks as such for a lot of your events. Marathon running is different, but if you're running 5k, you ain't taking an energy gel. But for cycling, I'm a big proponent of take sugar while you're cycling. I know a lot of people say no, but my own personal experience, which isn't bro science, yeah, hydration drinks. It's a little bit different running too, because your stomach's bouncing up and down. Cycling, at least your stomach's not kicking around. Hardest thing for running, isn't it? It's not vomiting up the hydration. But sticking to what I do know, which is not running. If you find yourself plateauing and not getting as much gains out of your training as you're expecting, try sugar. Try it just 1 week. Just 1 week. You can stop after a week. It's not going to give you cancer. Do it 1 week. I was so unfortunate that was offside. Panama didn't make a difference in the game, but it'll be good for the player. Score a World Cup goal. You're famous for life in your country. Ooh. Deflected shot from England. One of the things too, if you're lighter, you're not using as much energy. So it's probably a lot of Zwift riders aren't as heavy as I was. Like I was 75 kilos most of the time. So the calories that I'm burning when I was in ACAP was huge compared to like a 60 kilogram rider. But conversely, I had more energy stores on my body. So whilst I burned more power, I had the ability to go a bit deeper before I bonked, compared to someone who's very light, hasn't got much body mass, because muscles hold your energy levels. Whilst I'm not super muscly, there is people who have got very good watts per kilo, but not so much muscle mass. Obviously you store a lot of energy in your liver. So again, if you got to, just because you use up less energy when you're riding because you're lighter, doesn't mean you don't have to take as much energy on board. I was actually reminded of this yesterday because I did, what did I do, an hour and a half yesterday? And I'm sick. But it also could have been, there's many things. But the last half an hour yesterday, my legs felt very heavy. Like I'd just done a VO2 effort. A couple of VO2 efforts. But I hadn't. I'd just been doing this workout for an hour and a half. It was a little bit, I was set at 100% rather than 95%. But there was that, not bonking, but what they call hunger knock, where you haven't got the energy in your body. You can still ride, but the body's cutting back the available energy to your muscles because it's knowing that you haven't got much energy stores. And it's well established in, well, I hesitate to say well established because sports science is one of the least well respected sciences because it's very difficult to do sports studies on humans. Always got a very small sample size and also there's many many variables, but it's pretty well established that if at the end of a ride, even if you have energy available, if you take sugar 20 minutes before the end of it, it sends a signal to your brain saying you've got extra energy stores on the way. And it just gives you that little bit more available power. Whereas if you haven't got that, the brain puts a limiter, always holding you back slightly. Which I think is what the feeling you get when you get hunger knock. It's not when you're bonking, but things just feel slightly harder than they should. That's what I felt yesterday. I didn't feel it today in my legs, because I made sure I had plenty of sugar in me. Obviously I'm going pretty slow now, but it's because I've done my workout. I'm just rolling to the end of the matches. Yeah, it's what I think it is, illness. So, but I made sure I had more sugar. I feel much better today. Obviously I lowered the power a bit, which very science. But there's that feeling. You know what it is. You've done endurance before. It's a feeling when you just feel heavier. I feel like when I was training, I removed a lot of that for these long rides. I'm making sure lights out. I think that's bonking, isn't it? The lights out. Bonking's definitely lights out. I remember riding years ago with a very good cyclist. He wanted to be a cat in Zwift, but outdoors, riding along, he was good. He could easily ride 100 kilometres. Ride faster up the hills than me. But his nutrition was terrible because he was a courier rider like me. So he rode lots of kilometres, but he was always able to fuel while you're sitting there waiting for the next delivery if you didn't have anything. And so we went for a 200 kilometre ride. And I kept telling him, you gotta make sure you get some food in. He was like, no, I'm right. Then come 150 kilometres. It was bonking, like you could see him fading and fading. And then once you bonk, it's very hard to come back. You can get some sugar in and it brings you back a bit, but you're never what you were. And so I had my power meter at the time. I think I started at about 180 watts. I'd be on the front most of the time. There's about 5 of us. Also setting the tempo, 180 watts, because we did have riders who weren't as strong. But he just did not fuel properly. I had a couple of muesli bars and stuff. I think I was doing like 100 watts just to get him home. That's bonking. It's like turning the pedals, just getting the foot over the other foot is hard. It takes days to recover. I have bonked in the past, but not severely. I think the worst I did was coming home from a race. I rode 40 kilometers to the race, but then after the race I didn't take the train home. I rode another 100 kilometers back from the race. And I didn't realize that there was not many service stations back home, so I was riding for about 45 minutes, not being able to get anything on board because I'd used all my energy. And I got to a service station. I was so exhausted. It was only about 5 kilometers from home. Down a muesli bar and a can of Coke. And it was like taking cocaine. In about 5 minutes, I finally had the power to pedal. The game's over, they are over. Alright. I think that's done for me too. I'll go to 2:30. Let's go and see if we can find the Bigfoot. The other match should be starting soon, shouldn't it? It was half an hour ago, wasn't it? I'm not going to start watching that one yet because I know I'll be here for another hour. Australia, they're playing against Egypt, I think. We're against Egypt, which is good because potentially we're looking like playing Denmark. Didn't say that very well, did I? That's how you say that country. Denmark. Maybe, doesn't really matter. But it just feels like Denmark's a more dangerous country to play against. Especially as possibly the best player in Egypt is out. Possibly. You never know with football, do you? Alright. Shut down the football. Alright, it's not too far until we can go and try and see the Yeti. Gotta go up this bump. Getting back to your supplements. Creatine. I was thinking about taking creatine when I was training. I didn't take it just because I'm a tight ass. I don't want to spend the money. But I think creatine's a great thing for cycling. It hasn't been used in the past because cyclists are always worried about putting weight on. And you always put on 2 or 3 kilos of water weight with creatine. Can't get around it. But I think the idea is you use creatine for training. Do your training blocks. Then you can stop taking creatine if you've got a big event. So say if you Remco Evenepoel, take creatine during this, what has he done? 2 months or 3 months of training? No racing. And then 2 weeks before the event, start tapering, or before Tour de France. Start your taper, start your weight loss. obviously he has been losing weight during his training camp, but you can lose 2 or 3 kilos just by stopping creatine. A lot of my friends who are very strong cyclists swear by creatine. Something else that they take as well, bicarb. I think that's more for the races, but got to be careful with bicarb. Very funny stories about Demelium type situations. Side of the road, potty stops. My power's come back up a little bit. You know, I've got some interest in finding the Yeti. Okay. Now, it's got the no Yeti. I'll put the brakes on. So if you see that wooden board going back and forth, you won't see the Yeti. What I can do, just because it's good for me to do some time in this ride, I've got real problems with my companion app and Wi-Fi at the moment. I've got Wi-Fi, but I can't seem to get my companion app to work. It's on, but it's not doing the ride screen. It's been doing that since the last update. I want to take some screenshots. Anyway, okay. Get that one. What I'm going to do is try and find the Bigfoot. Save that. Okay, I'm up to 40 now, 40! My training, my training score is shooting up. Still got another 114 kilometers to go to the next upgrade. What I get then? 6,600, but remember I've got 4 times XP, so divide 6,614 by 4. Routes. It is. Nope, not that one. Another one. Which is a route that starts near the. Yeah. This could take a while. I've forgotten the route. I just did it the other day. What's the distance? It was 30 something kilometers, I think. Definitely not mine mash. I think I've gone too far. It's not 50 kilometers. 20. Wait a second, they're not arranged by kilometers, they're arranged by difficulty. Not going to arrange by kilometers distance. Okay. Alright. Coast to coast? Yeah, coast to coast. No, not coast to coast. Oh. What was the TTT course we did the other week? Coast Crusher. No. I'm pretty certain I clicked on that before. I think it's an event only read, isn't it? Was it event only? Anyway, where's the route that starts closest to that? It starts a bit closer. I'm just going to give up on this, I think. Mountain 8. I think it's an event only course that we did. Coast to coast. It wasn't the course that we did, but it's where it starts in the same spot. And I'm pretty certain it's close to here, Darren, close to here. I want to be back close to Bigfoot. And I'm pretty certain if you start here, oh, I got the arrow, just what I need. A fast finish. If I start here, or if anyone starts in this section of the course, I could be wrong, because if you start on the other side of the course too, from the Fuego flat pens, you also get Bigfoot. But I'm not riding from the Fuego flat pens. If this doesn't show Bigfoot, that's the end of the street. It's actually much easier seeing Bigfoot than it is seeing the Yeti. Problem with the Yeti, they made it so, to trigger the Yeti, you have to do the whole, well, don't do the whole climb, you have to start from the bottom of the climb. You can't just start halfway up. You have to ride up to turn 7. Ride halfway between turn 7 and turn 8. Turn around, and then you can see the Yeti. Now, you have to sit there for a while sometimes. But you won't see the Yeti if you just keep climbing up the climb. It's kind of annoying. I'm guessing they did it just to make it so it's really hard to see the Yeti. But I'm not climbing up halfway up the Alp just to show the Yeti. And I'm pretty certain if you get to the top and turn around, you won't see the Yeti. If you come back down and stop at that Dutch corner, can sit there all day, the Yeti just doesn't get triggered. You have to ride from the bottom up to turn 7, keep riding towards turn 8 so you get in those the snow banks. Once you go to the snow banks you can turn around, come back and you'll see the Yeti. How did I discover that? Well, let's just say I had plenty of time on my hands during lockdown. For so long I thought, where's that Yeti? Where is it? How come I think I've done like 50 or 60 climbs of the Alp at that stage. I've never seen the Yeti. Did I ever get to that knockout question? So, which country knocked Italy out of the 1966 World Cup in one of the tournament's biggest shocks? It's either North Korea, Morocco, Peru, or Bulgaria. I'll give you a hint. We were talking about this region earlier. Not the same country. Country next to it. That at one stage used to be the same country, just as one whole country. Oh, I've got to blow my nose again. Which end of the towels was it? Let me mute my microphone. Correct, Darren. North Korea. I didn't know that, but I'm not I'm not a massive football fan. And if you're an Italian fan, you're definitely going to know about it. But How do you know about it, Darren? Was it a guess because of my clues, or was you just a naturally incredibly smart person? Alright, coming close. I was so disappointed there's no Bigfoot football general knowledge. It's probably a question that's asked all the time, isn't it? It'll be one of those go-to questions. Alright, here we go. We have the real Bigfoot or just the cardboard cutout? Cardboard, wooden. It's all graphics anyway, it's not not real. I stopped pedaling too early, didn't I? Ah, it's bloody. Alright, that's the end of the stream, folks. I did it the other day. I did the same course we did the TTT. Not last week, the week before or the week before that. The course that we're doing the coast ride on. And I saw the Yeti bumbling along. It's quite big. Not the Yeti, Bigfoot. Anyway, champion quiz today, Darren. You get to do a punishment ride. When's your are you doing the WOW event today? The 100 kilometers on TT bikes? 100 kilometers in 10 minutes. This is where it's actually good to have it on HD streaming. Yep, what's your event called again, Darren? People can join in. It's actually tomorrow for you. 100 miles this time. Isn't it usually 100 Ks? You're stepping it up. 161. I think my burrito team, were thinking about using that kit for our ZRL racing. Just to flex, and then we kind of got bored of the idea. We prefer the kit I've got on at the moment. I'm not going to tell you why I prefer it. I'm trying to keep that joke in team chat. It's called, is it WOW? It's going to be, anyway, if you're looking on the companion app, it's going to be high speed, and it's 9 o'clock, so it's what, 13 hours, 14 hours? All I know is I'm going to bed usually when it's on. Trying to get Ethan to sleep. Singing kids songs. 14 hours time, yeah. Usually 14 hours time down, I'm usually singing the song about flying a rocket to the moon. Ethan absolutely, he wants me to sing that song for like half an hour. He likes a countdown. He can count now. He doesn't know what the numbers mean. So if he holds objects in his hand, he can't go, that's 4 objects. But he can count 1 to 10 and counts, because he loves rockets, so it's always a countdown, 10, 9, 8. So he counts like 9, 8, 4, blast off. But he's getting better. He loves doing 1, 2, 3 and then running. He's got little tiny legs, but he runs very fast. So anyway, I better go. Enjoy the football, Portugal. I might have a shower and have my breakfast and start watching Portugal. All right, peace out.